Hello, everyone. I'm Peter Marshall, Director of Developer Relations at Imply.
And I'm Charles Smith. I run the docs team here at Imply.
And I'm Sergio Farragut. I'm a developer advocate also at Imply.
And we are very happy to be here at the 2023 Druid Summit to talk to you about the Learn Druid GitHub repo. So, Sergio, what the heck is this thing?
Well, this thing is Docker Compose with a stack of goodies like Kafka, Druid, Jupyter Labs that allow you to do streaming, analytics, and build data on the fly.
It's got like a raft of Python notebooks in it, so you can run them all interactively. It's got Jupyter Labs, so you can run the actual notebooks, and it covers everything from simple scalar functions like adding things up to the more complicated things like how you set up approximation in Druid, and even like new features like multi-topic Kafka ingestion that came in with 28.
Yeah, I love the notebooks. And the awesome thing about them is that you can take the code samples that are in the notebooks, you can tweak them yourself, and then run them with your own data. And you can even modify them to hit your own Druid cluster. It is great.
Yeah, we're so excited to share it with you. And in the time we have today, we're going to talk a little bit about how it's built and how you can get involved in the project. But before that, Sergio is just going to get straight in and give you a demo. So Sergio, over to you.
Okay, so here we go. The first thing you'll need is a Docker desktop. Right now I don't have any images in it. All right, so I'm going to do this from scratch. And you'll need Git so that you can clone a repo. Let me do the clone command. Clone the Learn Druid repo, which is pretty quick. It's pretty small. And then just go into the directory, Learn Druid, and start the Docker Compose. Docker Compose. There's multiple profiles, but the profile all services brings up everything. And so up, minus D, and here we go. It's going to take a while here, so we're going to keep on talking while this occurs. So let's keep on talking.
So thank you, Sergio. Okay, so first off, we should tell people where the heck this thing is.
All right. Hopefully, there's a link here on the screen. That's where you need to go get it. We designed this to be open, right? So it's an open source repo. We want people to have easy access to it because we want you to contribute. So we would like for you to first see what we've got and comment on it, and then contribute to the project.
Yeah, exactly, Sergio. We wanted to make something that will help the whole community experience Druid firsthand. And most importantly, understand how to apply the features that they might read about in the docs. So we wanted to cover things that were not just well-established things that people do with Druid, like partitioning and that type of thing, but also some of the more nuanced things like maybe quantiles, who knows?
Yeah, I think it's important that people see this as a supplement to the docs, right? Because you can go into the documentation, you can read the real detail about how the things work, and then you can use the notebooks to see them in action and see examples of how they can be used in different situations.
Precisely. The docs are still there. They're a deep dive. They contain some tutorials, but these are hands-on, interactive as a supplement to the docs that are delivered with Apache Druid.
Right, and we're focusing on it being easy, right? It's easy to set. It's easy to bring up. You'll see that it's just one command to bring it up, and then you can just test all of the Druid functionality from any release. You can select which version you're running, and you don't need a big cluster. You're running it on your laptop.
When you two guys were like, "Oh, I think we should have Python notebooks," I was like, "What the heck are Python notebooks?" But now I've actually played with them and written a few. I'm like, why have I never used these things before? They are so useful.
Yeah. So, the Apache Druid project isn't the first one to use Jupyter notebooks for education about databases. Jupyter notebooks are in the data space. But as the docs team here at Imply started to focus on the developer experience, one of our writers, Victoria Lim, was using the Jupyter notebooks to test out the APIs and write about them. So we recognized that we wanted to provide the developers and the consumers the easiest experience. So the docs team decided to do a notebook hackathon project to create an environment that included Jupyter and Druid and everything that we've been talking about to run the notebooks. And so once we'd finished the version 0 of the project, the DevRel team got wind of it, and they have really taken it to the next level with intuitive layout, all kinds of new content, and testing to make sure that everything works as we keep it upgraded and current.
I have to say, right, so it's not just us three on this talk today who've gone like, oh, we created this thing. So, like, I couldn't have written the notebooks that I've done without people from the community, from the docs team, end users guiding me to exactly the right things they want to know about, and also to telling the story in the right way, right? I really wanted to give back to the community something that actually made sense, and it showed properly how these features work and how to use them.
Right, and along those lines, as we've been documenting or showing these examples in Jupyter Notebooks, it's been invaluable to get information from project committers, either directly asking them questions on our Slack channels or through the PRs. So well-written PRs are for Apache Druid are an awesome resource for us to understand what the functionality is and then be able to describe it within a Jupyter Notebook.
And many people watching this will probably know Sergio and other people from Imply who are in the Slack channels, of course. And those are the people who've really had their ear to the ground on the things that people are asking about and maybe the features that people aren't so familiar with. And so we've tried to incorporate what we've heard from the community into building this thing out, right? We've not just like gone, oh, I think it'd be a really good idea for a notebook on nulls. We've tried to put the effort in to make sure it gets covered. And of course, we'd love you to be involved, you audience, in adding notebooks to that so we get more coverage.
Yeah, making it easy to use and easily to contribute to the project was very important.
Yeah, it's like what I'm seeing, I personally have been like, so you've got the Druid Quick Start, you can get Druid started, you can see the processes, and you can get to the Druid console. Awesome. What do you do next? Well, I'd like to suggest, and we'd like to suggest, the next thing that you should do if you've done the Druid Quick Start is get into this Learn Druid repo. You should go and see some of the features and understand how these things work on a particular example data set, of course, but so you can take it and you can apply it in your own situation for your own use case.
So so early on, we decided to use Docker Compose to put everything in a single box, right? So before with a quick start, you might bring up Druid easily, but then you needed to bring up Kafka, you need to bring up other stuff to put a test together about streaming analytics. So we put everything in a single place and provided notebooks that not just use Kafka and Druid to demonstrate, but also a data generator that generates real-time data so that you can experiment with real-time analytics all from the comfort of your laptop.
Yeah, it's more like it's a bit more of a complete environment for learning Druid in.
As part of the Jupyter Notebooks, we added a Python API for Druid. It's called Druid API package that encapsulates the REST APIs that are usually used to interact with Druid. So it makes it really easy in the Jupyter environment to interact with the database.
And of course, it's an easy way to extend the functionality later if the community needs to see how Druid works with Apache Flink or Superset or another community project.
Yeah. Exactly.
Okay, so what's your favorite notebook so far, Sergio? I'll put you on the spot.
Oh, definitely the Joins notebook. I learned a lot about Druid with the Joins notebook. I learned, that you could do joins not just in the native engine, but also through MSQ. And there are different kinds of joins, and they have different performance characteristics. So we talk about all of that in that Joins notebook, and we even touch on a different technique using union all as a way of achieving joins in some situations.
Interesting.
Interesting. I want to call out the basics of Druid SQL notebook. It was contributed by one of our writers, Kachi Macedo, and it is a really great introduction to the basics of Druid SQL, and I learned a lot when I did it.
And since you mentioned quantiles, I have to say that I did get some help from another community an avid community writer in the form of Helmar Becker, who helped me create the notebook on quantiles. I'd heard about quantiles. I kind of thought I knew what they did and kind of didn't realize the power of the quantiles data sketch and all the different situations that you could apply it in. So I learned a lot by writing that notebook, and I hope other people will as well.
Awesome. Thanks, Sergio.
So after you've cloned it and run it and you've tried some of these notebooks out, please do stay connected. So star the repo, subscribe to notifications on the repo, because we want you to know when we've got updates, not just from us, but from other people in the community as well.
And we've also enabled in the GitHub project, we've enabled the discussion board. So we'd love participation there. Comment on the notebooks individually, comment on what other notebooks you would like to see, contribute other notebooks, start the conversation.
Yep, I'm just going to echo that and say contribute your own notebooks. Use the power of GitHub, raise a PR. If you've got a specific data set and it shows how Druid features really enhance analytics for that data set, fry up a notebook and open a PR.
Yeah, do go and contribute changes as well. So if you spot something that could be explained better, or maybe you've got some examples of how to use a function in a different way than shown in the notebooks, then just go ahead, raise that PR.
And with that, I'll say thank you for watching, and we hope you find these notebooks useful.
Thanks, y'all.
Cheers.